Hello there, how are you guys doing? It's so awesome to be here. Thank you guys for coming. Appreciate it.
Right, so ask some questions. I will have some room open for you guys to come and bring your questions towards the end. So get some questions ready. Let's keep it fun. Let's keep it light, and let's just get to know our fantastic Howie. So to begin, welcome back to Salt Lake. You've been here a couple times. I know because I've been going to your concerts here. So I know you've been here a couple times. What is your favorite thing about Salt Lake?
Well, it's actually quite interesting. I came to Salt Lake many years ago before becoming a Backstreet Boy. My sister's husband was stationed at Hill Air Force Base in Ogden. So I had a chance to come here, I think when I was like around 12 years old, go all around, see, I think it was at the Donnie Marie Osmond Studios, which I don't know if are they still around, I think it was in Provo or something like that. But had my first taste of saltwater taffy. Can't wait to get some more while I'm out here. But lots of great memories, just walking around, seeing the Mormon Tabernacle, which I think is beautiful. And just seeing all the great people here. So every time I come back to Salt Lake, I always feel a little bit of a reconnection.
We love to hear that. So, yeah, keep clapping, keep clapping. So with all your traveling and your daily life, do you have like a travel essential, something you never leave the house without, something you have brought here?
My deodorant, toothbrush, clean underwear. No, for me it's, I mean, my phone for sure. That's my best way of communicating with my family when I'm away from them. But my son is really excited I'm here. He's 14 years old now, so I think he knew more and told me more about who's here than I did here. I was like, Dad, make sure you autograph for whoever you can, this person here. He's like, Five Nights at Freddy's coming out. He's like, okay, you know, so it's cool. I can't wait to be able to bring him one day to One Piece, because I think he would really enjoy it.
Oh, we love that. Now, with your travels, you've probably traveled across the globe. Have you been to any particular countries that you learned something new from, or a favorite country that you'd love to visit on vacation based on the experience you had there?
Actually, this last tour we did what we called, they were pretty much exotic one-offs. So it was the first time we ever went to Iceland, to Egypt, to South Africa. I think where else was this? I think it was Bahrain we went to for the very first time. So I always get really excited about going, seeing places for the very first time, because to me, it reignites the fire of just the excitement of seeing a place for the first time. For me, the places that I've been to in the past, the best thing that keeps me energized about it is when my family comes with me, or friends come out that I've never seen, just seeing the excitement through their eyes and the passion. But in South Africa, I brought my family out, and Kevin brought his family out, and we did a safari in South Africa. It was a really, really, really cool experience to do that with our kids. Our kids are, we both have two boys, and they're around the same age, so they love playing with each other. And it was just a really cool experience. It was definitely a check mark off my bucket list.
I love that. Now I want to go explore all those places too. Now let's get into the music.
Okay.
Is there a particular song of yours that is like, this is why I'm here, this is the one I want to sing to everyone, the one that you see on the set list and you're like, yes!
Well, it's funny, actually, throughout the years, or over the years, I've always said my favorite song is All I Have to Give, which is off of our very first album. And I've always had a personal connection with that song, because it was the first time I had a chance to step up to the plate and sing lead on the song. And so it always has a special place in my heart for me. So I always enjoy singing it, but I can definitely tell you, I don't enjoy, my anxiety level, if you were to take my heart rate right before the hat routine, if any of you guys have seen the show, that is always a little bit, I can tell you, my heart level probably gets a little high, my blood pressure probably goes a little high, but once I'm done with that, I'm like, phew, all right, let's get on with the show. Then I'm ready to have fun. So it's always better for me if that's in the early part of the show, because then I don't have to carry that anxiety through the whole show. But if it's one of the last things, but at the same time, by saying if it is early and I miss up the hat routine, well, God bless me, all I'm doing is thinking about that the rest of the show too. So it's a hit or miss on how it goes.
Perfect. So, what's the best thing about coming back? Like coming coming back on tour, coming back together, working together again, and just basically going back to being this hardworking family that just brings so much joy to all of us? Like, what is the best thing of just coming back to us?
The fans. The fans are the best thing. You guys are truly like our family on the road. I see so many familiar faces that I've recognized over the years. I always enjoy meeting new fans out there. It's even to a point where I created this Howie Eats little thing that I do. We do one actually Saturday night if anybody's interested in coming. Details on how we eat out there. Anyways, it's just something I started creating because for me, when I go on tour, besides the fans, I love to eat. And being out and going around the world, that's when my taste buds come alive. Especially over in Europe and Italy. I'm losing weight ahead of time before I go to Italy because I always find it there somehow or another. My taste buds come alive, and now in this new Howie Eats where we get together, we do dinners and drinks, it's fun because I'm getting a chance to see how fans are getting to meet each other and creating friendships. And that's one of the best things I think I can take out of all this is I always love hearing the stories of somebody saying to me, I met my best friend because of you guys. And we may be thousands of miles apart in other countries, but because of you guys, we're always connected. And that's such a gratifying feeling. And I feel like, over dinner, that's the best place to break bread and just to be, get to know people. And it always touches my heart when I hear you guys connecting with each other. And yeah.
Well, we have a lot of good food here in Salt Lake, especially
I know.
you already know.
Yeah.
All right, so when you're home or you have a break, how do you self-care? How do you decompress? Like, how do you vacation? How do you take care of yourself?
There's no really vacation when I come home. I am the bus driver, I'm the garbage man. My wife's list of things for me to do. There was no Backstreet Boy coming in the house with a king chair or anything like that. Or, I gotta get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, get my boys out to school. Like I said, I'm the bus driver. I even do a carpool. I take some other kids with me in the neighborhood. But no, I enjoy it. It helps keep me balanced. My wife is truly the rock, all of our wives in the group. They're the rocks that hold the fort down for us. Back home, our daddies are out going working and try to keep the house lights on. Coming back home, that's something I think we all never come back in the house with the Backstreet hat on and expectations of fresh towels and clean sheets every day at the house. I do my own laundry. I cook sometimes, not only for me and the boys. The boys love when I'm home. I don't do a lot of cooking, but one thing I have started to learn over the years is how to grill. So they love Dada steak. And they're always excited when Daddy comes home to do the grilling, the grill master of the family.
Now you need a grilling show.
Right? Next Howie Eats. Howie eats and eats and eats.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
It's a
go on
sequel, like a side project.
And it's fast food Howie.
I love that. So, because the others are here, being together for so long and being family, do you guys run into any silly arguments or fights and things? I've heard about the who has the best tour bus incident, but do you have any other silly stories or arguments?
We're like brothers. We have our moments where we totally see eye to eye on stuff, and then we have moments where we're like, I just need a break from you for a second. That's just, I think it's because we're a family. We're like 30 years together, and longer than any of our marriages, more than over half of our lives we've spent in this group with each other. So that's one thing I'm proud that we've been able to stay together for so long. And I attribute that to our communication with each other. We always try to discuss things, because we're 5 individuals, and we didn't grow up together. Well, Kevin and Brian cousins, we kind of sort of grew up together. And I did know AJ a little bit in the entertainment scene when I was before we became the Backstreet Boys. But like I say, we weren't a band as little kids. We became adults when we got into the group. So it is learning about each other's personalities and likes and dislikes. I always say it's everybody has a different enough factor. Like what's enough for me might not be enough for somebody else. Or what's enough for me may be way more than what somebody else wants to do. Whether it's work-wise, whether it's vacation-wise, whether it's whatever the deal might be. Like I say, our biggest thing is we just try to communicate. I think some of the silly things are probably over who's got the nicer bus. We're all paying the same amount. Someone's got a brand new spanking bus, and the other one's got like, chickens in the back and they get flying out the windows. There's those little things like that. Maybe sometimes maybe the wardrobe. But I'm not too much because AJ and me are totally different styles. There's no need for me to, him to get jealous about my stuff. Or if anything, if I'm me and Kevin are more closer in style, and I don't have to worry too much because he's definitely way bigger than me. So it's like the sizes, me being short sometimes every so often it works out for my best friend.
So, which one of you takes the longest to get ready before a show?
Most definitely Kevin.
Is it the hair?
The hair, he definitely takes a little bit of time to do that. He has Kevin time, which is, but he makes it though. He makes it on time for the show. We've now gotten to a point that we used to get so frustrated with each other when any of us would make us, late on stage. And then we got to a point where we were almost going to start fighting each other to make sure, everybody gets responsible. We didn't have to go there, thank God. But he will take. I'll sometimes still be eating dinner. He's already taking a shower, getting ready for this show, and steaming out, and doing the stretches and stuff like that. He is the oldest, so he has to do a couple of extra stretches in the morning. So, but I don't mind. Let me see. As long as he's there on stage with a smile on his face, take as long as he needs.
Who sleeps the longest? Or oversleeps?
Kevin, again. I hate to say it. This is not a picking on Kevin fest, that's for sure. But everybody would tell you that if we're waiting downstairs in the lobby, it's 9 times out of 10 it's probably Kevin who's the one that still hasn't gotten down yet. But he will admit that once he goes to sleep, he can have an alarm go off, and it'll be going off for a couple of hours, and he doesn't hear it. And his poor security guard, Keith, who's luckily his best friend, but sometimes he'll come get the key to get in the door and literally shake him to wake him up. But he's a heavy sleeper. I mean, I love to sleep. I'm an 8-hour sleeper. If not, it affects my voice. I can't. After a day or two, if I don't get, makes me start feeling run down. So I'm definitely an 8-hour sleeper. But I'm normally pretty much close to being on time when I get to this room.
Perfect. So, with fall season upon us and Halloween coming up, are you a big Halloween person? Is your family big on Halloween? Any traditions you want to share with all of us?
Yeah, actually, I really get bummed when I'm not able to be home for Halloween, especially because of my kids. They get so into it. I'm very blessed to live in this beautiful neighborhood, and the fun thing that we like to do around Halloween is everybody gets golf carts and they go around, and it helps the kids. It's a good problem for them to have, but there's some pretty long driveways, so they get really tired really quickly. So we get a golf cart and we just go around house to house. It's kind of like glamping Halloween. It's kind of really weird as I'm saying this to you guys. It sounds a little much, but the kids love it. They get on the golf carts, and sometimes they'll even take the golf carts themselves and go around trick-or-treating. I think my wife does a great job. We have out in front of the house, she puts like these king-size candy bars and stuff like that. And I always like messing with the kids, and we have this little ring doorbell. And so sometimes I'll see the kids, and they'll come by, and I can tell who's like, the next thing I see the back just open, and I'm like, hey, don't you do that? Like, put this candy bar back. They freak out, but it's funny. I guess you have to be there to see that.
You need to dress up your Ring camera as something. That way they think it's a
right?
coming out of it.
That's a good idea.
And do you dress up for like when you're home? Do you dress up for Halloween?
So the last time we did Halloween as a family, we were all going to go as Scooby-Doo. I think my youngest one was going to be Shaggy. I think I was Scooby-Doo. No. Was that Scooby-Doo? I think James was Scooby-Doo. I was supposed to go as, who's the guy that wanted to do Fred. What's my son supposed to be? Anyways, it didn't work out. We couldn't find the costumes in time. We all actually went as Scooby-Doo. It was like a whole Scooby-Doo family. That was something to find.
That's so cute. I love that. So, are you a big book reader?
I wish I could say I was, but I'm not. Actually, I got Audible. I get tons of books, and I try to listen to them in my car, but I think somehow like ADD kicks in or something. I can't concentrate. So, but as soon as I start to read a book, especially at night, forget it, I'm asleep within like 1 or 2 pages. But I wish I was a bit more of a book reader. Thank God my sons got the good genes from their mother and like them to read.
So what's the best book you've fallen asleep to?
I can't remember it. A lot of times I like reading a lot of these motivational books. They give me just, I don't know, feeling good about life and trying to look at, things in the most positive way. So I think I remember reading a great book is The Secret. I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it's a very motivational type book, putting things out in the universe and just putting out good energy and receiving good energy. So those books always, I feel like, motivate me and make me feel good about life.
I did read that book. I really liked it. So one of my last questions, so if you guys want to start preparing lines, let's have 2 lines on that row, 1 line on that row, 1 line on this row, and I'll bring you guys a mic. So if you want to start lining up for questions, please do. Conventions. What has been your experience with conventions? Like, do you enjoy attending them? Do you enjoy guesting at them? Like, how's been your experience so far? Yeah, the Comic-Con.
It's been cool, actually. I haven't done a ton of them yet. In comparison, you guys have probably seen AJ and Nick at quite a few of them. So for me, it's still they're fun to me. There's still the energy, the coolness of seeing how everybody gets a chance to meet who they may have wanted to come out to, as an actor or Marvel character or singers. I just did with Nick and AJ just a couple of days ago. We did the '90s con in Tampa, and it was really cool just to be able to see some of the people I even enjoyed and looked up to, some of the 902 What Up cast and Saved by the Bell cast, and I'm good friends. We're all good friends with Melissa Joan Hart from Saved by Sabrina's the Teenage Witch. We all did it back in the days. So it's good to see other artists out there. There's Joey Fatone, some other boy band guys and stuff like that. So those are always fun. I feel like it's nostalgia being brought back to a convention. You guys get a kick out of it. It's really great. So yes, feel free to ask any questions. Well, almost any questions if you want. So, good taste.
Okay, so a couple of your bandmates and several of your friends have done Dancing with the Stars.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever consider doing it? Why or why not?
You know what? There's been a couple of times where I was close to. There was some inquisiting about me to do it, and it just didn't work out time-wise. I think I was on tour with Backstreet and stuff like that. That little side gig that I have. But for me, I don't know. I know Nick has done it, and AJ, and I know when Nick, after he got done doing it, he was like, man, he's like, that was hard. He's like, it's a lot of work you have to put into it, learning new routines all the time and trying to memorize them. I don't know if it's my anxiety levels would be the best for that kind of show. I did do the Real Dirty Dancing, which was a kind of dance. Thank you. Only one episode. But and it just it was interesting because I learned about reality TV and about the ways that you're not in control. For whoever you guys saw the first time I did a dance with a girl. Totally nailed it, and they said they wanted to do double takes and everything just to get the best that each takes. Well, what they aired was not the best, unfortunately, and then I got partnered up with somebody else, a girl named Lonnie Love, and the very end of the scene was where we're supposed to pick, the male was supposed to pick up the girl as the iconic Dairy Dancing dance, but I knew there was no way that was going to happen with me and her. I said, if anything, you want to pick me up, that's probably a better chance. I said, I don't know what else. It would have been some good reality. Actually, I think we would have gotten that far. But anyways, that answers your question.
Hello there. So my question is, what's one of your favorite memories about being on the set of TRL?
My favorite memories. I think looking back on that show, it was so cool. I wish they still had TRL nowadays. I think it's such a great fan interaction show with artists. But I think getting out there, I'm not sure if it was the Millennium album or Black and Blue. Maybe we were lucky for having both times, but I remember they shut down Times Square. And looking out that window, seeing all the people out there that just had so much love and support, and just excitement for us to be releasing our records. That's probably the best memories that I have of TRL.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. When you guys recorded I'll Have to Give the Conversation Lyrics, did you guys write that yourself or was that written for you?
So far back I can't even remember. I can barely remember 2 weeks ago. 30 years ago. I know we had some inspiration into it. I remember I was like, I like chicken and waffles and a little guacamole, and they're like, whoa.
Yeah.
And it was just, I mean, I think the idea may have been like, let's get you guys to banter with each other. But if I recall correctly, I believe we kind of came up with those things of the kind of women that we liked and the very talkative part as you're talking about. Thank you. Good question.
Hi. So a few years ago, I went to your show in Vegas, and Steven Tyler from Aerosmith walked into stage and kissed the girl that you guys were serenading. My question is, what the hell? What happened after? I tell the story and nobody believes me because it was nowhere in the news, and I just need to know the tea from behind the scenes.
Yes. I believe it was his girlfriend at the time. I'm not sure if they're still together or not. But yes, we had all seen his show the night before. And yes, which was really great. And I think they had asked us, I guess because I believe she works with him as well, and they said that she was a big fan of ours, and they asked if we would be willing to bring her up. We said, absolutely. We didn't know we were going to get her and Steve Tyler, which was really, really cool. I think that the audience that night probably, I don't know what they did, but they probably were thinking crazy thoughts. So it was really cool. And afterwards, we hung out with him backstage. And back in the parking lot area, we were just taking pictures and stuff like that together. He's such a great guy. I mean, Steven Tyler, I've known him for years. He's probably one of the first artists back in the early years that I remember meeting and be like, wow, he's such a class act. And he always takes care of people that he's around, whether it's other celebrities or his fans. He's a good, genuine person. And he's, one of the, I'd say probably top 3 people that I always say when they say an artist you've met over the years who was a really good experience with. I say him, Lionel Richie, and Elton John. 3 people I thought were just really class guys.
Hi, I'm very excited. I put on my glasses and I can see you, but I can hear your voice. And my daughter, when she was a teenager, we went to the concerts 2 times. And I have to go with her, and this is the first time when I hear about the Backstreet Boys. Howie was my first fan, so you're amazing. And my question is, who is the biggest inspiration in your life and why?
Who is the biggest inspiration in my life? I'm a very spiritual person, so besides the man above, I would say probably my mom, and probably after that would be my sister, Pollyanna. She's an entertainer as well in the family. She is the true entertainer in the family. She has that entertaining gene. She can just sing anywhere. I get a little bit more nervous, a little bit, anxiety. But she has a little kid. She's 11 years old, and she's always taking me around with her. And she would go do the musicals and stuff like that. And so it's because of her that I got the bug and interested in wanting to become an entertainer. And so my mother, I have to say, is my spiritual blessing in my life. She supported me as such a little kid, saw that I had a passion to want to do something, a dream at such a young age, to want to be an entertainer. And she did whatever she could. She would even sometimes work second, besides babysitting kids at the house, she would give a second job just to provide for me to have voice lessons and dance lessons and acting lessons. And so she's a big inspiration to me. Thank you.
My question is coming from the very Backstreet Boys Christmas album. It was beautifully done.
Thank you.
So my question is, working with Nick, AJ, Brian, and Kevin, how do you all 5 decide who sings which parts of your songs?
We fight about it. We try to let the producers pick. So a lot of times in the past, the only way to be able to do that was each of us to go record the song as if it was a solo song. So we would record all the leads And then we let the producer say, okay, I like this person this year, that kind of thing. With this record, we actually worked with a gentleman named Kook, who is a great producer, has done Rihanna's Umbrella, and a bunch of huge hits. He had worked with us on another song, I think it was Chance, if I'm not mistaken. And so he kind of already had an idea of our vocals. So we told him, where do you see us on these songs? We would allow him to do it. There was definitely a couple of songs where like Brian would be like, I really have a passion to want to sing this first verse on this song or whatever. And we were always like open to, to requests and stuff like that. As long as it just, was still done fairly, equally across the board. As long as somebody didn't say, I want to sing this whole song by myself. It's not happening. Thank you.
So out of all the albums and out of all the songs, which is your favorite album and which is your favorite song from over 30 years?
So like I said, probably all I have to give is still my favorite song to date. Favorite album, it's really tough because I go between Millennium and Black and Blue. I think both of them we were like at the top of our career moments at the time. So I just have so many great memories with those albums, especially being on tour. And those, I don't know if you had a chance to see those shows, but there was a lot of acrobatics, I guess you could say. A lot of fireworks going off. And it was at that time, I think, where everybody was just constantly like, so-and-so had to put $1 million into the stage, we gotta put $1 million too, so we can make ours even bigger and blow up this and that, It was just it was a cool moment in time in our career where we were able to do a lot of great things on stage with those two albums. And also, I met my wife, the Black and Blue, so that was a lot of great memories there as well.
Hi, so I was 11 when I discovered Backstreet Boys.
Oh, we feel really old.
I feel old. I'm now 36 and I have a 5 and 6-year-old. So this is more of a request than a question. I need to indoctrinate them fully and learn the choreography. So just, give us 3 years, keep touring, and we'll see you soon. That's it. No, I said keep touring because in about 3 years, my girls will know all the choreography and lyrics. And
Oh, nice. Definitely, we'll be out back on the road again, don't worry. We got lots of good things planned. I just talked to the guys the last couple of days and we got some good stuff brewing. Can't tell you about it, I know you probably didn't really tell you. And some really good stuff cooking. You guys will be excited to hear it.
What was the song you had the most fun creating and singing and laughing about, basically?
Oh, I have to give. That was a favorite song. And it was actually because we had some great producers who I'm still really good friends with, a group called Full Force, that are a band themselves and have worked many years ago with Lisa and Samantha Fox, probably some artists that you guys probably way too young to know still. But they were a really unbelievable, successful R&B group, and I'm still good friends with one of the main guys. His name is, actually, I'm not joking, his name is Bow-Legged Lou. And, but still to this day, I'll never forget, when they wrote the song and asked us to record it, they came up to me and they're like, Howie, would you be interested in singing this verse? And I was like, absolutely. They're like, oh, that's great. Like, we just thought that you didn't really want to sing. And I was like, no, I've always wanted to sing. When the group first, the start of the sound with Max Martin, my voice didn't lend itself to that. Even though in the very, very beginning of it, if you really get curious and want to find some stuff online, you can probably find some old video stuff of us when the group first started. I was more on the lead. And, but like I said, as time went on and our sound evolved, I was put a little bit more on the back. So this is, like I say, once again, it was a very special song to me because this was the first producers I felt like I took a chance with me and gave me a chance to step up to the plate and sing. And that's all I wanted to do is to perform and be able to have a chance to have my voice heard. So this one really seriously has an emotional, deep-seated in my heart. Thank you. Good question.
Hi, Howie. I am looking forward to celebrating my birthday with the rest of the guys in April in Cancun. And I know that you're doing the tequila and guac event, and all the guys each have an event, but I was wondering if there were any other details of events or anything that we could look forward to that haven't been announced that you could maybe do for us?
You know what, can you remind me what's been announced?
Well,
Like I told you, I can't remember no more than 2 weeks ago.
guys, individual events,
Yeah.
and I know there's gonna be a white night.
Okay, so you did hear about that,
And a
sure.
pajama party.
Okay,
And
good
then
to
there's
know.
the concerts each night and Jason Derulo. There's still rooms available, I think.
Yes, definitely. That's just, you know about as much as I know. I think actually you knew a couple of things more than I knew. I didn't know we were doing a pajama party. I knew we were going to do a white party for sure. But if you know anything, if you've ever been on any of the cruises in the past, it's, I have to give you some advice on how to start sleeping now. Because there's not that much sleep there when at the event. I'm sure it's going to be a party similar to our cruises. And there'll probably be some adult beverages consumed. So bring an extra lever with you. If you have one. There'll be some adult drinking.
Just keep going.
Yes. It's the energy that keeps us going.
Hi. So I don't know if this is allowed, but last year, well, a couple years, my mom got diagnosed with dementia. And so when we found out that you guys were coming back after COVID, my sister and I tracked her mom up to Idaho, and we saw you guys in Nampa. And then she found out that you were going to be here, and told her I was going to meet you. And she wanted to come so bad, but her health is so bad that she can't. So I was wondering if you could just give her a little shout out and say hello.
Yes, definitely. Do me a favor, let's catch up right at the very end here.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a song. We'll do it.
Perfect.
Together.
Thank you.
Sorry here.
My question what's your favorite color or why you watching music? I am a huge fan for what you voice, what you do.
Did you ask what's my favorite color?
Yeah, what's your favorite color? Backstreet Boys color clothes.
My favorite color, believe it or not, as a little kid, my favorite color was purple. And I would do some moments where I wasn't sure if it was as cool, for it to be my favorite color, but it was, and that's why actually one of the reasons why I picked the Ravens as my football team, because they were purple. And also we sang the national anthem years ago, and they won that year in Tampa in 2001. Yes, I'd say, believe it or not, it's still purple. I'll stand behind it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm not sure if Tiger Beat I said that years ago. If I admitted purple was my favorite color, but it is.
Okay, well, by that statement, you might have just become my sister's favorite Backstreet Boy because her favorite color is purple and she loves the Ravens.
All right, I love it.
But my question is, when you were on that Dirty Dancing show, I watched it. I know you were paired with Angela Johnson, and I love her, and I like you. Well, no offense.
Yeah, we'll take it.
But what's your favorite memory from that show or story with Angela?
Well, Angela's a sweetheart. I still keep in touch with her. And I think she just had a little one here just recently.
Little Rosie.
Yeah, she's so cute. But she came out to our show. I think it was in Nashville last time we were there. She came out. And I follow her on Instagram and see all of her performances and stuff like that. She's so funny. But she was great. I mean, the whole cast was amazing. That was the best thing I feel like I got out of it. I still keep in touch with a lot of the cast members. We still have a thread that we do for messages. And she's a sweetheart. She's a really, really sweetheart. She actually married a guy from Orlando, another Puerto Rican. Yes, very well. And I had a chance to meet him at the concert as well. They're a sweet couple. I'm always rooting for her and all the rest of the cast. They're awesome.
Thank you.
I miss Twitch, that's for sure.
What is your favorite movie?
What is my favorite movie? It's actually my son just had to read the book, and it was so cool. And actually, once he got done reading the book, I had him watch the movie with me. For years, it's always been The Outsiders. I don't know if you guys remember that movie, but it was so cool to watch because to me it seemed like it was the start of so many great actors' careers. Ralph Macchio, Rob Lowe, Tom Cruise. It was just the list just went on and on and on. To me, it's still timeless. Like I say, my son for 8th grade, that was his summer project. This whole 8th grade class had to read that book, and I was honored, I mean, I was excited to hear that that book was still living its life. And then I played him the movie afterwards, and it was funny because he's like, yeah, that's so weird. He's like, that didn't happen in the book. I just, wow, they really went fast to go there on this, you know. But still to this day, it's one of my favorite movies. And I probably really love the Chocolate Factory after that. The first one.
Hi, Howie, thank you for coming. I introduced my daughters, I introduced my daughters to the Backstreet Boys through your Larger Than Life video, which is my favorite music video, and ever since I showed that to them a couple of years ago, they've become huge fans. So again, thank you for coming. They love seeing you. They saw Nick and AJ when they were here. My question to you is, what was a music video you had a lot of fun filming? Not necessarily your favorite, but just one you had fun on.
I mean, I always refer back to Backstreet's Back. That was our biggest.
Oh, I love that so much.
Yeah, that was our biggest production at that time. Even though we actually ended up spending more on Larger Than Life, believe it or not, that video was just all the animation, not animation, but the CGI and all that stuff on that was just crazy. I think I'm still paying for that video today. But it was like, I think we actually hit the Guinness Book of World Records like $2 billion.
Oh my goodness.
And so yeah, but Backstreet's Back to me was the one that always sticks out the most in my mind because it was the first time we were able to do something to that level of video, to be able to take on other characters. I'm so glad I beat Kevin and we got the Dracula before he requested it. We still talked about it just the other day how he got like he got gypped on that one with I think we used Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde or something like that. But he really wanted to be Greystoke with the long hair, and that's why he has the long hair. I think now he's still channeling the Dracula. But it was just really cool. I remember it was the first time we worked with a guy named Joseph Kahn, who's gone on from there to do many great things, including movies and stuff like that. But it was I mean, I don't think he slept for like 42 hours. He just kept on going. And I'm sure he crashed really hard after that. But it was just the cool, the prosthetics and putting all the makeup on the hair and all that stuff. It was really cool to do something on that level, finally.
Well, you looked great as a vampire.
Oh, thank you.
So earlier this year, when we lost my best friend, and she was the biggest Backstreet Boy fan ever. Concerts, cruises, you name it, she was there. So, in memory of Ship Mom, then what is your favorite cruise memory?
I know, it's such a loss when we lost Ship Mom. She was a beautiful soul. I still remember her. My favorite memory, wow. I don't really have much memory of them because I think there was too much alcohol drank. I think my brain cells are not there anymore because of these cruises. And my voice would always be gone halfway through the cruises. We'd be whooping it up too hard and not getting enough sleep. But I'd say definitely some of those parties that we had. We had some crazy parties, especially when we started getting themes for the parties. And I didn't, this was definitely not my vote, but I had to, as being a team player, the Spice Girls, when we all dressed up as the Spice Girls. And that was I have a high respect for you girls with high heels and stilettos and stuff like that. I think I was in pain on my feet for like the next week after those. But yeah, that was an interesting one. I like it when we try to get creative. You guys embrace it. You allow us to get crazy and you come along for the ride with us and do it yourself as well. So I love the costume parties on the cruises the most. Yep.
Who's your favorite Instinct member?
All of them, of course.
And could there be a team up?
Could there be a team up? That I think would be really cool. I think we've been talking about it over the years, and I'm happy for them that they actually have a song now on the Trolls soundtrack, and we're bragging with Justin on that. They deserve it, those guys. I've known Joey Fatone, and Chris Kirkpatrick. I don't know if you guys know or not, but we went to college together. We were in choir together, and he always jokes, and the ongoing joke is that NSYNC was made by him because I didn't ask him to join Backstreet Boys. But I think it worked out for him okay. He had a successful group. And, but no, I'm happy for those guys. They deserve, success just like all of us out there. And there's an amazing fan base that's there for them that I remember telling Joey over the years, like, dude, you guys should get together, 4 or 5, whatever it may be. The fans, they just want to hear you guys. And, we're honored that you guys, just like us that much. And that you guys want to hear our music. You want us to be together. And I think that's been able to keep us going strong for 30 years.
We have about 5 minutes left, so these are the last questions we're going to take. So let's get through these. Let's go.
I'll try to be fast answer so each of all guys.
Okay, piggybacking off of that one.
Yep.
Every once in a while, a song comes on the radio, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm not 100% sure if it's one of yours or one of the other popular boy bands. Other than memorizing your entire body of work, do you have any tips to point us in the direction where we can go, that one's a Backstreet Boys song?
Yeah, I don't even know where to start. Any tips? That's Backstreet. I mean, a lot of them probably did sound alike because we were working a lot with the same producer, Max Martin. It's funny, Joey, we were just talking about, he's like, man, I got mad, you guys got some of the better ballads, and we'd be like, well, you got some of the great up-tempos and stuff like that, but normally probably Nick's voice is the most recognizable, especially, everybody, switch your voice when he's a little kid, and then you can kind of hear it a little bit before you hit puberty, so that's probably the easiest way to recognize one of ours in the early days.
Who was your favorite person you have ever worked with?
Favorite person I've ever worked with? Probably Lionel Richie. I'd say Lionel Richie was really cool. We got to meet him many years ago at a UNICEF concert in Germany, and we kept in touch. We came into LA, and he was like, Howie, how can you do more? He's like, I want to present a song for you guys to see if we do a collaboration together. And I'll never forget, he's like, I went through a bunch of songs with him, and I was like, I think this one here called Ballerina Girl. And he said, let's go in and record it. I was like, oh my gosh, Lionel Richie's producing my vocals. And then he asked if I would produce him. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm like 21 years old. I'm like scared to poop my pants. I'm producing Lionel Richie. And I'll never forget, there was one part where we did several takes, and there was one part where he went a little flat. And I was like, I can't tell Lionel Richie's flat. I was like, oh, that's great. Let's just do it one more time. I'm like, it sounds really good. And I went on from there. He's such a great guy, and I look up to him so much for just being such a great entertainer. Yep.
Thanks, so growing up, you were actually my favorite Backstreet Boy. And I'm like super nervous right now. But I wanted to just tell you that when I was 14 years old, I made my family have a birthday party for you, and I made the birthday cake, and it was like,
thank you. That's sweet of you.
I always give me a hard time about it to this day. So, but quick question, just want to know, just so we can get the thing going, but your favorite beverage, Coke or Pepsi?
Whichever's going to pay me the most is probably I'm open for sponsorships, bar mitzvahs, Comic-Cons. No, probably, I have to probably say Coca-Cola. I get Coca-Cola with some pizza, or next day when you're a little hungover, maybe. It's like the best remedy, for sure. I'll take endorsements from you, right?
So last year on the New Kids Cruise, and Donnie told some stories about what happened when you guys toured. Do you have any funny stories?
Once again, I can't remember that far back. No, it was fun hanging with those guys. I mean, I looked up to them as a little kid. I mean, I remember even sending in a cassette tape to their fan club, thinking I was going to somehow become the 6th member of the New Kids on the Block years ago. I was much younger. But it was just great just hanging with those guys. They're all a class act. We had some great parties together. One of probably the great memories I took out when we went to Australia. Johnny had invited us, and Nick and I took him up on it. We went with him and Joey to this Jupiter Hotel. It was on the Gold Coast, and we saw, it was the first time I'd ever seen them, the Jabberwockies in there, the dance troupe, and we saw them at this casino hotel, and we all gambled afterwards together. I lost a lot of money that night. So I unfortunately have a memory of that. But they were just so much fun. I miss hanging with those guys. They're good people.
are getting booted from here, but please go see Howie at Celebrity